it's Sam. So today I'm going to be doing a first impression and demo of makeup brushes. I've never done a video like this before, but I really wanted to share these brushes that I just recently got with you guys, but I wanted to show it in a helpful way to where you guys could see them in action. So I figured I would create a kind of first impression demo. So I'm actually using these brushes for the first time in action. So I'm doing a makeup tutorial, but it's me demoing and trying out these brushes and letting you guys know how I like them as I go. But I also show you the entire collection of all of these brushes. This is the Pink Glam brush book, and it is seriously the most adorable thing ever. So it comes in this amazing case that is just so beautiful. It's amazing for travel because it has a zip. You can zip up all of your brushes. So altogether there are 25 brushes in this collection, which is insane because that's a lot of brushes. And they are all so unbelievably beautiful. They've got the pink base with the gold top, and then it kind of tapers from white brush over to the pink kind of tip, which is so cute. And then they all have the actual name of what the brush is. So it's a foundation brush. So if you are new to brushes, you are not going to be confused about where to apply this brush, what you're going to do with it. They're all very simply kind of named so that you know exactly what to do with it. And it gives you a lot of different options in this actual collection, so that you can have a few different powder brush options, you can have a few different foundation brush options. So it's really nice because you do get a lot of selection. So I will actually have a coupon code for you guys so that you guys can get 40% off of this collection. It's definitely an investment. With the coupon code, that saves you almost 50%. I mean, it's 40%. So it's a huge amount off. I just can't even get over how cute these brushes are. The person who created them is called SLMissGlam, and she is pretty much the cutest person ever. This is the little card that came with my brushes. Her Instagram is gorgeous. Her nails are adorable. Her background is adorable. Her Instagram pictures are adorable. She also makes YouTube videos, so I will leave those linked down below because they're so pink, they're so girly, they're so just beautiful. I'm seriously, I feel like we should be design sisters because she's just, she's way better than me. She's just so girly and so cute. It's unbelievable. So I will leave her link down below so you guys can go check out her YouTube as well as her Instagram, because her Instagram is eye candy. It's so pretty. I'm just obsessed with her Instagram. And then she created these amazing brushes that are not only fabulous, but they're so flipping cute as well. I did want to show you because she does have other options that I kind of just wanted to share with you as well. So that if you're not super duper into pink, this is the whole thing is pink, then she does have some options that are white and gold with a touch of pink. So this is her white collection, and it also comes, you can buy the book and it's a white book with gold writing versus the pink book with gold writing. But you can see these are all white bases, and then you have the gold as well, but then you have a tiny bit of a pink on the end there. So it's yes, I still am girly, but I'm not ridiculously pink. My bun just went crazy. So there's those, and then she also has some pink, all pink ones. So if you're you know what, I want something a little bit more kind of metallic, if you're on that whole metallic trend of life. So these ones you can see are more metallic pink. They're just a little bit brighter. So if you're wanting really super duper pink, then you can always go with these ones. So if you guys haven't heard of them before, definitely check her out. I'll leave her website down below where you can buy these brushes. You guys should check it out. There's so much cute stuff on there. It's ridiculous. It's SLMissGlam, but I will leave all the links down below, as well as the coupon code that you need, as well as her Instagram, as well as her YouTube, so you guys can go and subscribe, tell her I sent you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys find it helpful. I really wanted to create something that was just going to be just helpful. So you'll see me applying this whole entire makeup with all of these brushes, and I will show each and every single brush as well and explain what exactly it's for. So it's kind of like a brush 101, first impression, demo, and tutorial all into one. So it's probably going to be the longest video of your life, but I'm covering a lot of stuff in this video. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Keep on watching for the demo. Bye! Okay, so for foundation brushes, there are quite a few different ones to choose from. This one is the P13 Tapered Foundation, and that's what it looks like. So you can see that it's nice and tapered. It goes to a little bit of a point. And then on the other side, you can see it has these gorgeous little gems, like it's so pretty. And then it kind of tapers out into a little pink tip. And then the actual base of the wand is pink. And it has SLMissGlam in really gorgeous gold cursive writing. These are synthetic brushes, and then you have like the gold tip here as well. So this one I'm actually just going to use for my primer. I figured I might as well just try and use as many brushes in this video as possible for you. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Joe Anti-Blemish Matte Primer. I feel like this brush is actually quite nice for this. You could also use this if you wanted to blend out concealer. You could also use it as foundation, but because it's a little bit like longer, I feel like it has a little bit more kind of like movement than the other brushes. So I feel like it's really nice for applying like any kind of base, primer, if you're applying like a glowy, like the Becca skin, what is it, the Perfector, the liquid one. This would work really well for that. Then there's two other foundation brushes. There's the flat top foundation, which is the P12, which looks flat, which I actually prefer these for foundation. This one reminds me very much of the Sigma, what is it, the F88 or something like that. And then there's the full foundation, and this is the P11. So that's what that one looks like. It's a little bit more dome shaped. I prefer the flat top, so that's what I'm gonna use on my face today. So where's my foundation? I'm gonna do my Estee Lauder today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dip that right into the foundation and kind of disperse the product. I have like the most painful zit right now on my dang chin, and it hurts something fierce. So I will say this is very soft. The Sigma one is a little bit more dense, so this one definitely has a little bit more kind of like wiggle room to it, but it definitely is applying very nicely. I feel like because it's not so dense, it's not giving quite as full coverage as like one that would be a little denser. But I kind of prefer it because I don't like applying my Estee Lauder with a brush anymore, because I feel like it almost is like too heavy with my other brushes because they are so dense. So this one has a little bit more of a wiggle, and I feel like it's kind of giving me more of a like beauty blender coverage. Okay, there's also a stippling face brush, which is the P09. This is more, it's kind of like a little bit looser. So I actually like these. I prefer these for like a cream blush, cream highlight. You can also use this if you have a really liquidy foundation, if you want a really light kind of like, just not as full coverage. Or you can use these for powders. These are really nice to apply powders as well. The next brush that I'm going to be using though is the P14. This is a concealer brush. You can see it's nice and flat. You could also use this to pack on your eyeshadow if you don't like to use concealer with those, with those type of brushes. So I'm going to use that to apply my Maybelline Super Stay concealer. It's going to dip it right into my finger, and then this is actually really nice because it's a pretty large surface area, so it's actually a lot quicker than just doing it with your fingers. So I like to bring my concealer kind of up, and then I also like to bring it up onto my nose as well. And then to blend it out, I'm actually going to use the small contour P07. This you can actually use as a contour brush, but I think this is the great shape for blending out your concealer. I really love using brushes to blend out my concealer, especially when they're like a little fluffier. And so this is really nice because it's small enough to where you can really get in under the eye, and it blended it out really nicely. To set my concealer, I'm actually going to use the tapered blush. This is the P07. So you can see right there, it's like a nice little point at the end, and it really, I just like these for getting under the eye. I feel like they're very, very just comfortable to use. So I'm going to go ahead and use my NARS. So I'm just going to dip it in there And first I do my forehead because it helps to hide my wrinkles. This is really nice and soft as well. I do like the shape of this one. I feel like when you're doing targeted areas like under eyes and like if you're specifically setting with a powder for wrinkles, then I really like to use something a little bit smaller, and then I use another powder to set the rest of my face, and that's when I will go in with a bigger brush. But this one is really actually very nice because it's got that little point, so you can really get under the eye really nicely. Okay, so there are 4 other powder brushes. The first one is the Classic Powder P01. So you can see this is nice and big and fluffy. Then we have the Expert Face, which is P10. This one feels a little bit more dense, so you might want to use this if you are using something that you want to get a little bit more fuller coverage with, maybe a pressed powder. Then we have the Fluffy Powder P03. Again, this is a little bit shorter, so again, it's just going to be a little bit more dense. So the denser the brush, the fuller coverage you're going to get. So again, with the pressed powder, that's going to work. And then we have the Precise Powder, which is the P02. So I will actually probably use this one as my blush, or you could use this to kind of like do your contour if you wanted. Or you could use it as a powder brush. It's really just up to you. I'm going to go ahead and use the Classic Powder just because it's nice and loose and fluffy, which is what my normal powder brush is like. I like to usually stamp first and then buff. And this is really nice and loose. This is actually the perfect like setting brush because it's really soft. It's very, very light, so I can feel like you can really get a good buff in. Yeah. I like this brush a lot. This is really, really nice. Okay, for my under eye white powder, what am I going to use? This is going to be tricky because there's nothing that's like my regular brush. I think I'm going to use the Fluffy Deluxe. This is the P22. I think this might be just a little tiny bit too small, but I think we can still make it work. This is technically for your eyes. I might just go back in with that blush brush and just kind of like make sure everything is like really buffed. And then I'll go back in with the big fluffy brush and just make sure everything is blended. So for contouring, there's 2 different options. This one is the Angled Blush, which is P05, which looks like this, which is usually what I used to contour with. I now use something slightly fluffier. They also have the Medium Contour, which is the P08, which is just a little bit more dome shaped. And then of course they have the one that I used for my concealer, which was the Small Contour P07. So I'm going to go ahead and use the angled one today. Again, this one feels really soft. It's like a medium. It's like not too dense, but it's not too loose either. So it's kind of like right in the middle. And it seems to be applying my contour really nicely, actually. It's picking up the pigment really, really well. It's actually making it glow really nicely because this bronzer does have like a kind of shimmer to it. But normally with my other brush, you don't see a whole lot of sheen. And with this one, it really is picking up the sheen like really nicely. So to bake, I'm gonna go ahead and use the full foundation. This is the P11, which I showed you earlier. This one is just a little bit more dense. It's a little bit more dome shaped. And I'm just gonna go ahead and get some more of my NARS. I think it'll still work. If I have any powder left, that would help. So it's not gonna give you like a super duper extreme line. I also have like no powder left, but still gets the job done. So for blush, I'm actually going to go ahead and use the Medium Contour P08. This is what this one looks like. And because it's a little bit looser, I like a little kind of like a looser brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my Itsy Sunset Beach. This is like my favorite blush. I use it pretty much every day. Whoa, Nelly, that gets a lot of blush. I'm going to go ahead and disperse a little bit of the product over on this side. Yeah, I actually really like this one for blush. Okay, so there are two different highlighter brushes. You have your big massive fan brush. So this is the P30, this is a fan highlight brush, and you can see it's really fat. It's quite fabulous. And then there's also the tapered highlight, which is the P04. I also like to use these brushes for blush as well, but I'm going to use both, one side for one highlight, one side for the other. So first we're going to go ahead and use the tapered highlight, and we're going to see how this baby works. So I'm just taking my Moonplay Cosmetics and, ooh, that's nice. I'll put a little bit up there. So you can see that worked really, really well. Now we're going to go ahead and take that fan brush on the other side and see how that baby works. Ooh, that's nice as well. So those both work really nicely. I guess it's just really a preference. I feel like this just covers a larger area, whereas this is a little bit more, you know, I can't think of the word right now because I'm having a brain fart. Both of them look really nice though. You can see this just kind of covered a little bit more of a space. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the tapered one to to highlight the rest of my face. So my upper lip and my nose. Okay, so for eyebrows, this is either eyebrows or angled liner. This is the small angled eye P26. So this is what this one looks like. So you can see it's just got a nice little tip that is kind of sharp and angled. So you could use that for eyebrow or liner. And then you can also use this one for liner. I'm not going to do liner because I never do, but this one is called the P27 eyeliner brush, and you can see it's very little. I actually prefer these for eyeliner and then the other ones for eyebrows, but it's just your preference. And then for eyeshadow, we have lots of different options. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over these real quick with you, and then I'll show you the ones I'm actually going to use. So this one is the Fluffy Eye Shading. This is the P19. So you can see it's just kind of like fluffy and long, but it's not like super duper fluffy. It's a little bit more dense. Next we have the Fluffy Crease. This is the P18. This one is a little bit more kind of dome shaped. You can see right there. And it's a little bit less dense, so it's just a little bit looser. Then we have the eyeshadow. This is the P15. So this is nice for like packing on the lid because it's nice and short and dense, and you can really get a good kind of lid color. Come on, camera. There we go. These are also really nice for like using ColourPop shades to really pack on the color on the lid and get full like super duper pigment. Then we have the eye angled shading. So this one is a little bit more angled out. So you can see right there, it just kind of like is a little bit longer on the bottom. So you can use that for your crease if you'd like. That's usually what I would use it for. Then we have the large fluff. This is the P21. This is really nice if you're just trying to get like a all over kind of base color, or if you're just wanting to do a really quick like crease color, you could use that. Next we have the eye blending. This is the P24. So this is going to be really good because it's nice and long and kind of like thinner to like really get a good precise color in your crease. And then we also have the angled eye. This is the P20. And again, this one has a little bit more of an angle. So you're just going to be able to get a little bit more of a kind of precise line in your crease. And then we have the one that I used for my my white powder, which is the Fluffy Deluxe. And this is P22. And that's just a nice fluffy crease color. I'm going to go ahead and put my eyebrows on. I've just been using the IT Cosmetics lately. I've really been like happy with the way it does. And this is in just the color Universal Taupe. And I actually really, really like this. I feel like it's just so easy to use, and it is a really great color for my eyebrows. It's like the exact color of like my natural eyebrows, which is actually really difficult to find. And then I go in with my Gimme Brow, and I love setting my eyebrows with this stuff. It just kind of like adds a few little like highlights to the brows and keeps them all in place so that there's no like crazy little flyaways. Is rather amazing. This is the new ColourPop shade. This is called Game Face, and it's just this amazing like copper fabulousness. I'm going to go ahead and take the Fluffy Deluxe, and we're going to see how this works in the crease. Okay, so for ColourPop, it's a little bit too loose. So we're going to try something just a little bit denser. Let's try the Fluffy Eye Shading. This is the P19. That's what it looks like. With ColourPop, you have to use something that is dense enough but loose enough. So you need to have something that you can use in the crease to give you that darkness, but then use on the lid to give you the pigmentation to where it looks really nice and like metallic and glowy. So this one is working really nice in the crease. Okay, then for the lid, I'm going to take something a little bit more dense. This is the eyeshadow, the P15, so this one is like nice and short. And this one is going to make, hopefully, the lid really pop. So yeah, you can see how it's like just giving a little bit more color. And that's how I like to wear the ColourPop shades. I use them like kind of more blended out, like fluffier in the crease, so it looks like you actually have a different color. But then when you apply a little bit more and just use them like really patting it on and like, you know, like patting it into the lid, that's when you get that kind of different like texture and finish. See how different the crease looks from the actual lid? Like it's like two different colors. It's insane. And then I'm going to go ahead and use, what am I going to use? The only thing I will say that this set is missing is something like a pencil brush. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and use the eyeshadow brush and hope for the best. Oh yeah, that worked really well. Now to get that kind of peachy look that you guys were asking about, I took my finger with a little glittery shadow, which was, what was it? Was this. This is the Urban Decay Space Cowboy eyeshadow. These are like, they're really sparkly ones. And I just took a little bit of that on my finger and I just popped it right into the center, and then it really just gives like a kind of extra glisten to the lid, and it kind of lightens it up and makes it look a little bit more like peachy. Now for my brow bone color, I'm going to take my I use the same stuff all the time, you guys know I get stuck in a rut. I think I'm actually just going to use my angled eye. This is the P20 because it's a little bit more dense, and I can just really kind of like angle it up with the brow. Yeah, that actually works really well for that. Oh, look at that line I got with my brow bone color right in my inner corner as well. I take this in my waterline. This is the Cover FX Perfect Pencil. And then I'm just going to go ahead and apply my mascara and my primer. I'm still using the same as always, although I have lately been using this on the days that I'm like not filming. This is the Hello Lashes from IT Cosmetics, and I really like this for like every day when I'm not trying to be super glam with my lashes. It's a really nice, like, just kind of if I'm going to the beach or if I'm just going to go for a walk with the kids. When I'm not trying to be super duper like dramatic lash, I use that, and it really is nice because it separates really well. It's not clumpy. I'm just going to go ahead and take my powder brush and just dust off that extra powder that we used. Okay, so we're all done with the brushes. That's everything. That's like all the brushes. I haven't used every single one, but I've shown you all of them. So I'm actually really impressed with these. They're really nice. They're very, very soft. There's a lot of different options, especially for face. The only thing that I would be missing would be a pencil brush. That's the only thing that I feel like I was like, oh, I just need that one. But other than that, I feel like I could still get away with using this one under the eye, and it was dense enough and small enough to where it didn't look a mess, so it worked out fine. But these are just so gorgeous, guys. I'm going to go ahead and finish my lip. So for my lips, I'm going to go ahead and use Kylie Exposed. I like to use that whole thing over my lip. Then I go in with Ex-Girlfriend from Urban Decay. I take Plain Koi from MAC. then what I've been doing that I love is I take a little tiny bit of the NARS Super Orgasm Illuminator and I put just a squidge right on top, and it just adds this like amazing glow, and it also kind of makes it look like you're wearing one of those metallic lips, but you're not. Okay guys, so there is the finished look. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!